The show Wednesday starts with Wednesday Addams, this socially awkward girl getting expelled.
Attempted murder. How would that have looked on your record?
Terrible. Everyone would know I failed to get the job done.
She goes to Nevermore, which is a school for all outcasts. We kind of follow Wednesday as she navigates her way through this new school, new relationships, but then also she's dealing with this serious investigation involving serial killers and murders and monsters.
I've always hated the expression, write what you know. But when your life becomes a twisted mystery, maybe it's time to lean into it.
So it was very important to us that it wasn't a remake or a reboot, that this was a new chapter in Wednesday Addams' life.
This is really a show about exploring her journey into adulthood.
Wednesday is like the classic outsider, obviously. You know, she sees things very black and white, mainly black. But in the past incarnations, it's been very cartoony. So in this longer form, we just tried to give it a reality, which I loved.
When I look at you, the following emojis come to mind. Rope, shovel, hole.
It was really important to me that I did something different, even though she's been done so flawlessly in the past. She's a bit more socially awkward. There's a confidence there, but it's more concealed.
I know I'm stubborn, single-minded, and obsessive, but those are all traits of great writers and serial killers.
Wednesday is so iconic because she's an example of a girl who says, like, I don't have to smile for you. I don't have to be happy for you.
She says the things that the rest of us wish we could say.
Wednesday is technically a Latina character, and that's never been represented. So for me, anytime that I have an opportunity to represent my community, I want that to be seen.
Who doesn't have a spooky built-in altar in their family library?
Ours is in the living room. More seating for a year-long Dia de los Muertos.
The key ingredient to this show was finding Wednesday. And when we found Jenna, it was just like she was the one.
I haven't always been against birthdays. Each one reminds me I'm a year closer to death's cold embrace.
I watched the movies when I was younger, and Wednesday's somebody that I always was compared to my entire life.
She inherently has a dry sense of humor as Jenna, and so she's incorporated that into Wednesday.
You must be the self-appointed queen bee. Interesting thing about bees, pull out their stingers and they drop dead.
I honestly was so nervous to do this part because I just wanted to do her justice. So I went to fencing lessons twice a week.
No, quick, good.
I went to cello lessons twice a week.
Yeah, that's it, you got it.
A big part of it too was just physicality. I would walk like Wednesday, and I think that people thought I might have been kind of crazy because I wanted her to be specific and certain and assertive.
She's like a silent movie actress in the sense where she's able to convey things without words. And to see the inner life and the subtleties was very exciting. And that's why we're very lucky to have Jenna, because I can't imagine any other Wednesday.
OMG, you look perfect! Only thing, where are your whiskers?
Ask again and you'll be down to 8 lives.
Wednesday. That dress will certainly turn some heads.
I grew up on a farm in a small farming town, Eastern Washington, very rural, and I was always wearing clothes that other people didn't wear in that town. And I remember the first time I saved enough money to buy something for myself from working when I think I was 10 or 11. I ordered a white blazer with a crest, which is kind of Addams Family-ish, and I had to hide it in a drawer. And when I pulled it out, my mother was like, "What? What were you thinking? Why did you buy that with all your money from the summer?" Somehow the bug was in there, and eventually I got out of there and did my thing.
Well, do you like it?
What is it exactly?
It's a snood, silly. I made it in your signature colors.
Before I became a costume designer, I always loved clothes, and I had 2 grandmothers, one who knew how to sew and one who had amazing eye and great style. And I think I gravitated toward the more kind of glamorous style of one, but also learned how to sew from the other one that kind of melded together in what I ended up doing in my life.
Her name comes from a line from my favorite nursery rhyme. Wednesday's child is full of woe.
The style of a cinched waist, long sensuous dress on Morticia's very appealing with the long straight hair. Gomez, the little round body just cries for a stripe, and I think that the stripe is something that's very graphic in the sense of a Tim Burton thing. And then the sort of wayfish child that's who am I in the middle with a little white collared black dress, trying to conform but not quite fitting in, that I think that people relate to in a way today.
Look at you, my little death trap. Seeing you in this uniform brings back so many terrible memories, doesn't it, Tish?
Yes.
Once she got to Nevermore, she had her version, the Wednesday version of the uniform.
You go to Nevermore. Didn't realize they changed up the uniform.
They did her the courtesy of not making her wear the purple and white, but she could have a more gray and black Wednesday Addams school uniform, and I think that instantly put her in a new world.
OMG, you look perfect! Only thing, where are your whiskers?
Ask again and you'll be down to 8 lives.
When kids are in private schools, they have non-uniform looks, which sometimes are quite extreme because they're stuck in a uniform most of their day. We really wanted to have some fun with that, so I did an oversized sweatshirt and little shoes and all kinds of fun, casual clothes for Wednesday for her outing, so she wasn't just in a dress or the uniform, that she was cool and hip like the other kids.
Did your mother tell you we were roommates back in the day?
And you graduated with your sanity intact? Impressive.
And then we had the amazing Weems with her. I had a Tippi Hedren from the Birds vibe, and we just ran with that. And I had a great time with Uncle Fester, just because he's such a great actor, dealing with how his coat was and the shroud that he walks around in.
Come on, let's roll!
You know, we had these characters who people were familiar with. You kind of want to make up something new, but when I talked to Tim, we're like, well, we have to tick the boxes of paying an homage, and then we took it from there.
As much as it pains me to admit, you were right, Mother. I think I'm going to love it here.
How are you failing to see that someone is desperately trying to derail my investigation? I think everybody wishes that they were as bold as Wednesday. She says exactly what she's thinking, she doesn't hold back, but she's also not a brat about it. She's confident, she doesn't second-guess herself, and she's somebody who's very, very sure of who she is.
Did you think I was going to judge you over some lousy prank? I would have taken it further.
You mean like putting piranhas in a swimming pool? I may have done a little digging on you after we met.
I'd do it again.
She may not show it in her face, but she expresses real emotion. Any frustration, any annoyance, any whatever, she makes it known, and I think that that's really powerful.